meditate on Sri Ramakrishna and pray for the well-being of the whole humanity. Shanti Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Stapakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharmaswarupine Stapakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharmaswarupine Avatara Varishtaya Ramakrishna Te Namah. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma mritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us bow down to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We have been studying some of the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna taken from the Gospel. In the last class, I have dealt with the topic, the significance of solitude. Sri Ramakrishna has stressed this important discipline, going to solitude occasionally. It is very important to tune the mind in a proper way. Solitude is a place to cleanse the mind. It helps to cleanse the mind. Of course, you must have very strong aspiration to realize the truth in this very life. You must be strongly determined to achieve that goal. So when you are seeking solitude, you must go with preparedness, with full awareness. You are going to solitude not to while away the time, but to utilize the time appropriately towards spiritual life. So, every moment of your stay in solitude must be filled up with spiritual ideas, and you must make use of the holy atmosphere, the silent atmosphere, to think about the Supreme God. Then you will really become a recipient of the bliss. So, solitude is truly fascinating and rich in the harvest it yields. If you want to have success in your spiritual efforts, solitude is a must. But then you have to prepare yourself properly. You must love to go to solitude. You must practice it for a while. then it becomes easy. All thinkers resort to solitude for their best efforts. So also scientists who immune themselves in the laboratory to pursue a line of research, how they concentrate totally on the scheme which they are working out. They don't want to be disturbed. So it's a kind of seclusion. In the same way, the intellectuals, in order to concentrate fully on the ideas, they put up a notice outside the doors, please do not disturb. There was one devotee who is now no more. He belonged to Glen in Michigan. His name was Overton, a disciple of Swami Chidananda. He used to come from America to Bangalore to be with his guru, revered Swami Chidananda, and to practice spiritual discipline. He meant it is just to practice spiritual discipline at the feet of this guru. He would come all the way from America to Bangalore, Karnataka, South India. And he would stay there at a stretch about 1 or 2 months. Then he would come back. Every year he would do that. In fact, he wanted to have his own cottage. So he built up actually. It was called as Overton Home. Whenever he used to come, he would spend the time in that home. Nobody would stay. Inside our ashram campus, surrounded by trees and excellent atmosphere. In the background there is a small hillock. And he enjoyed the place immensely. He was feeling very joyful. He expressed it also many times. He knew that all people would be coming into the ashrama, moving here and there. He didn't want to be disturbed during his meditation hours. So he would put a notice outside. Please do not disturb. He would put very clearly, and when that notice was seen by people, they would not go near the home. They also felt very sympathetic because he is coming from West. He is hankering after spiritual life. We should help him. What way? At least we should not disturb him. This is the greatest help we can do. And he did it. And he got the blessings of revered Swami Chidananda. He would always come to dine with him. He was so much drawn towards the Guru by his tremendous love and affection. It's a spiritual love. Purest form of love is spiritual love. That means you don't expect anything, you simply love. That's all. It's a joy to love. It is joy to love without expecting anything. It is extremely joyful. In fact, when Swami Vivekananda used to come frequently to Sri Ramakrishna, he would love to sit near him, hear his teachings. He would be overwhelmed by Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual instructions. Sri Ramakrishna also drew him with tremendous purest form of love. But then Sri Ramakrishna wanted to test him. So at one point of time, he deliberately became indifferent towards Vivekananda. When he came to Dakshineshwar Kali temple to meet the master was talking with the devotees in the room. As usual, Vivekananda came there as Narendranath. Sri Ramakrishna even never looked at him. He never welcomed him, he never talked with him. He felt as if he is not there. His whole attention was among other devotees, and he would, as usual, he was giving instructions and he would keep quiet. And Narendranath would stay there till Sri Ramakrishna was talking to the devotees, till the session was over. Then he would go back. So he keep on coming. He continued his visits to Master. The Master showed the indifference at every time. Then he felt, Sri Ramakrishna felt, now it is too much. Now we should not extend it. Next visit, when Vivekananda came, he hugged him. Sri Ramakrishna hugged him and told, well, Narendranath, I am simply amazed at your behavior. How is it? In spite of my total indifference to you, in spite of great humiliation, in spite of so much insult, as it were, to you, still you kept coming? I want to know. What made you to come? Swami Vivekananda just replied, Master, I come here because I love you. Finished. Because he loved Sri Ramakrishna, that was the joy of it. He never wanted anything. Anything he wants means it cannot give so much joy as it would give without desiring anything. So, that's the beauty. And not only those who want to think undisturbed, but also those who find the world too much with them are thankful if they can retire to a secluded place, at least for a short while. Away from distractions, away from social obligations, away from the great noise of the society. One discovers in solitude one's freer self, and freedom in any measure brings joy. So solitude is thus a boon to the pressurized individual and a person who wants to think without diversions. It's of much greater import for the spiritual aspirant. You can have direct communication with God in solitude without any external disturbance. That's why Lord Krishna has said in the Bhagavad Gita in chapter 13, which I mentioned in my last class, Vivikta Desha Sevitvam. It's a very, very, very important phrase. It means Shri Krishna is directing you clearly, resort to a secluded place. Do it as one of the disciplines. And this discipline is very important for the earnest seeker. Are you really seeking spiritual life? Are you really seeking spiritual achievement? Then resort to a secluded place. Vivikta is a very significant word. It comprises a variety of implications. It means sequestered, distinguished, discriminating, pure, clean, neat, judicious, faultless, and intent upon. All these words are embedded in that word, Vivikta. The Lord evidently has all these ideas in mind when prescribing the aspirant's stay in Vivikta Desha. So the resort to a lonely place must be, as far as the spiritual aspirant is concerned, a positive move and not an escape or a picnic. You must be very careful. The worldly people go to resorts, but they go just to make picnic. They go not to enhance their spiritual aspiration, but they go to these wonderful places just to spoil the atmosphere of the place. In fact, there was a place there is a place in Karnataka near Bangalore. It is called Nandi Hills. It is very, very famous. Nandi Hills. Lord Shiva's temple is there. It is on the mountain top. Beautiful landscape. Heavenly beauty. Hundreds and thousands of people go there. What for? Not for spiritual practice, but for picnic. For picnic they go. So what has happened? The whole atmosphere is vitiated, as it were. So, the surrounding, the place is very important to maintain the sacredness of the place. You have to think of spiritual ideas in the place. The place has to be chosen judiciously so as to ensure an atmosphere that is pure and clean. And the aspirant must be intent upon getting the maximum benefit out of the seclusion. Last week, one of the devotees, whom I don't know, called me on the phone and said, Swamiji, I want to go to Ganges and I have got great desire to do Havan. I was stunned. What is this boy talking about? Doing Havan? How much preparation is required? How many things are required? Then I began to ask him, well, may I know what type of Havan you are doing? He immediately said, he began to introduce himself. He was initiated by one of very great devotees of Ramakrishna Mission in Chennai, South India, who has written many books. All the Sanskrit books in Tamil Nadu have been translated into English by that gentleman. His name was Anna Subramaniam. Anna. They call it as Anna Anna. This person was initiated by Anna. That was the first introduction. Secondly, he said, and he taught him how to do Havan. And what's the name? Ganapati Homa. Lord Ganesha and Lord Ganesha. These two introductions were enough for me to approve. Still, out of curiosity, I asked him much more. And I asked him, well, you're planning to do Havan. Are you doing 108 names of Ganesha or 1000 names? He said, 1000 names of Ganesha I wanted to do Havan. 1000 times he will repeat Ganesha's name and offer the ingredients to the Agni. And then, what are the ingredients you want to use it? And he said Ashtadravya. And he began to mention all those. I was satisfied. I was totally satisfied. I didn't have to see him. Probably I might have seen him. I might have seen him only once I might have seen him, but I have totally forgotten. I don't even remember his Rupa. Probably if he meets me, I may be able to recollect. Well, he went with another friend, Srinivas Pedraju, who comes here regularly. These two went to Ganges. Saturday, they cleaned up the whole, that boathouse. Because there's a place where you can do Homa. Homa Kunda is there. And it was heavily raining. And so, he could not do the detailed Ganapati Homa. But since he had determined to do, on Sunday he did Ganapati Homa, short, brief. But on Monday, that is yesterday, he did the elaborate Ganapati Homa. And it is very good. Lord Ganesha has got special power. Every god has got some special power. And Ganesha is meant for removing all obstacles. And he has chosen the place Ganges. Why he chose? Because he felt this place was so uplifting. And he was thrilled when he saw Ganges, and he determined on first visit itself that he should do Havan there. It was a sincere desire. He was a sincere person, so it was fulfilled. And he wrote me a letter thanking for the opportunity given to him to perform Havan in Ganges. And he would love to do it more, many times hereafter. Then I replied him immediately, because now there is email. Immediately I will reply. I replied, you are always welcome to perform Havans in Ganges. I thanked him. Well, that's the way. Going to secluded place, in what manner you are using. If you just go to such places and spend your time in idle gossiping or making politics, it is really terrible. So, you are going to such places to uplift yourself, not to degrade yourself anymore. Uplifting yourself. Lord Krishna says, many times I have told, Uddhared Atmanatmanam, Atmanam Asadayet. Atmeva Hyatmano Bandhu, Atmeva Ripuratmana. You have to uplift yourself. How to uplift yourself? Like this. Go to solitude. Don't indulge in unnecessary talkings. Just go there. Do meditation. Do positively. Do worship. Do Nam Sankirtan. Do whatever way you are practicing spiritual life. Excellent library is there. Go to library. Read. Keep reading books. Some people, suppose they stay for 1 week, they will complete Ramayana, Akhand Ramayana. Some people, they do Bhagavad reading. Very good. Some people, they do Chandi. So, that's the way how we should use such holy places. In the same way, our ashrama here, temple, excellent atmosphere. Many people have felt when they come inside the chapel, they feel extremely peaceful. So, it's our greatest responsibility to maintain this purity of the place by not indulging in politics, by not indulging in dirty topics, always trying to be in a spiritual mood. That's very important. So, we invariably find the Mahatmas going to solitude at one time or another for deriving their prime inspiration. If you study the life of Buddha, you find how Buddha sat in seclusion under the Bodhi tree with firm determination not to stir from there till enlightenment. If you study Moses' life, you find he goes up Mount Sinai to receive the 10 commandments from Jehovah. He went to that mountain top, completely secluded place, where he got this message. Lord Christ spends 40 days in the wilderness, resisting the temptations of Satan before he starts on his ministry. If you study Muhammad, he also spends a number of days in a cave in Mount Hira before he receives the revelation. All the acharyas, Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, the greatest acharyas the world has produced, eminent, illumined, great Mahatmas, they have withdrawn themselves into some forest or other before starting on their preaching work. If you study Sri Ramakrishna's life, his whole spiritual life was done in Panchavati. That's why Panchavati is considered the most sacred place in the world, I should say. Because here, Sri Ramakrishna practiced intense spiritual disciplines and he got fulfillment. He got enlightenment. It is charged with spirituality. It is charged, supercharged. So, Sri Ramakrishna resorted to classic series of austerities. If you come to Vivekananda, he meditated on the last rock of the Indian peninsula before he had the vision of the task he was to fulfill. His future plan was envisaged while he was meditating on the rock in Kanyakumari, the southern tip of India. He got a divine mission, and that was very clear. It was there he decided that he should go to the West to spread this purest form of Hinduism. Purest form of Hinduism. namely the Vedanta. In the Gospel, Sri Ramakrishna has reiterated the need for periodical retreats into seclusion. There's a Bengali phrase, Mone, Bone, Kone. Mone, Bone, Kone. Mone means mane, mind. So one should find seclusion in the mind. Bane means in the forest. Kone means in a corner of the house. We find the call of the forest ringing through the Vedas. The Vedas have given everything. Do you want to enjoy spiritual life? Have it. Do you want to enjoy worldly life? Have it. Both are given to you. Even enjoying worldly life, they initiate into kamya karmas. That is, you have to perform certain rituals by which you will get higher type of joy, higher type of happiness, higher type of prosperity. It's just like going from one home to another bigger home, then again another bigger home, more and more luxurious home. So in the same way, by performing certain rituals, by performing worship of certain gods and goddesses, you will be able to experience joy and joy, more and more joy, more and more prosperity in the worldly sense also. But at the same time, you are worshipping gods and goddesses. That way you are training your mind indirectly. Finally you come to the gods and goddesses. When you feel exhausted, when you feel tired of these worldly pleasures, you just become disgusted. Well, enough of them, I don't want. Then you will turn totally towards God. So, but the Vedas also say, look, if you are hankering after spiritual prosperity, if you are targeting to have illumination in your life, go to forests. Of course, the rishis always prefer to stay in the forest. Because forest is a place where the divine atmosphere is naturally prevalent. The air is pure, the running river is pure, the trees, flowers, fruits, everything is pure. Pure surroundings. So it helps you to concentrate, to meditate upon God. So the rishis would dwell in the forest. They would discuss either with similar minds or within themselves about the ultimate truths. The Upanishads, they are the cream of the Vedas. Cream. The best part of the Vedas is Upanishads, which have been hailed as the Himalayas of the soul. They are the product of insights gained in the forest retreats. There's a famous Upanishad, the name itself will suggest you, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Brihat Aranyaka. Which means great forest. Brihat means great. It is not only the most voluminous of the Upanishads, but also one of the profoundest. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. The solitude prescribed by the scriptures is primarily an internal one. One should find one's solitude within one's self. The Kathopanishad says, the Lord has cast our minds outgoing. The senses constantly seek their objects outside and so get caught in the tangle of samsara. But the intelligent hero turns his vision inwards in order to attain immortality. It is in the innermost recesses of one's heart that the light is to be found. The scriptures speak of the cave again and again. Dhi guhayam. That is, in the cave of one's intellect. Dhara vidya. Meditating in the cave of the heart. The Shrutis point out again and again that it is inwardness that takes us to the ultimate truth. Inwardness. As we go deeper and deeper into our hearts, we discover unsuspected dimensions of reality and glory. Swami Premanandaji, one of the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, says, you must go to solitude occasionally. Practice discrimination and self-analysis and try to discover the subtle obstacles that obstruct your path to spiritual progress. You will find that there are many subtle impressions, habits, or thought and action lying dormant and hidden in the subconscious regions of the mind. Analyze yourself in solitude. Find out the obstacles and then struggle without compromise to remove them. So spiritual life is like this. You have to consciously live. Every moment is precious. Every moment is precious and most precious. And so, in order to make use of these precious moments, it is highly advisable to resort to solitude, to make retreats and enjoy the spiritual beauty and develop your spiritual dimension. That concludes the topic, the significance of solitude. Page 652. A devotee asked a question to Master. The full weight, how is that? All laughed. Sri Ramakrishna answered, Brahman is qualified by the universe and its living beings. At the beginning, while following the method of not this, one has to eliminate the universe and its living beings. But as long as I consciousness remains, one cannot but feel that it is God Himself who has become everything. He alone has become the 24 cosmic principles. When a man speaks of the essential part of the bale fruit, he means its flesh only, and not the seeds and shell. But if he wants to speak of the total weight of the fruit, it will not do for him to weigh only the flesh. He must accept the whole thing, seeds and shell and flesh. Seeds and shell and flesh belong to one and the same fruit. The Nitya and the Leela belong to the same reality. Therefore, I accept everything, the relative as well as the absolute. I don't explain away the world as Maya. Were I to do that, I should get short weight. Mahimachar, it's a good synthesis from the absolute to the relative and from the relative to the absolute. Master said, the Jnani regard everything as illusory, like a dream, but the Bhaktas accept all the states. The milk flows only in driblets from the Jnani, all love. There are some cows that pick and choose their fodder, hence their milk flows only in driblets. But cows that don't discriminate so much, and eat whatever they get, give milk in torrents. A superior devotee of God accepts both the absolute and the relative, therefore he is able to enjoy the divine even when his mind comes down from the absolute. Absolute, such a devotee is like the cows that give milk in torrents. Allah. Mahima asked, but the milk of a cow that eats without discrimination smells a little. Laughter. Sri Ramakrishna said with a smile, that's true, no doubt. Therefore, that milk should be boiled. One should boil such milk over the fire a little while. There will be no smell whatever if you boil the milk over the fire of knowledge or love. We shall stop here. Any questions and remarks or comments? What I read just now? But the milk of a cow that eats without discrimination smells a little. Master with a smile said, that's true, no doubt. Therefore the milk should be boiled. One should boil such milk over the fire a little while. Over the fire. There will be no smell whatever if you boil the milk over the fire of knowledge. Yeah. Further, by discriminating what is essential, what is not non-essential, what is real, what is unreal, that is initiating into spiritual way of thinking. In that process, you get clarified and you will be able to move onwards. That's the idea. Say anything? No. All right, we shall conclude. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean, and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust, raging furiously within. Own name streamed down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself, O self, drowned deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name that bought for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord. In each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy. How huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass. Be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy, consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Oh, how I long for the day when the instant separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stillest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt,
For thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous attain tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.